Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris. My friends call me the Candyman. And you already know what time it is. Tonight, we're drafting a best ball teams. And we're going to get right into the big board. I've got one pulled up right now. So without further ado, let's get right into it. If you're watching this later or if you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. I've got a goal to hit 1,000 subs before the start of the NFL season. And I think we can do it, but I need your help. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you've liked the stream. And if you're watching this in the future, I've left a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Answer that question. Give me a comment. It boosts the algorithm. It helps the channel. So thanks for being here. If you're watching live, get in the chat. Say what's up. Let's draft some teams. And hey, look at the room we jumped right into. A lot of familiar faces in this room. We got Huhames in the 3, myself in the 6, Hartman's in the 8, Tika 144, aka Anthony, aka Best Ball on Call in the 10 spot. Good to see y'all. I know Anthony just went live as well. And a little treat for y'all later tonight after I end the stream, I'm actually going to be going live with Best Ball guy Eric, aka BBG. So make sure that you stick around, draft with me here, and then I'm going to jump over and join his channel later tonight. So we got a lot of stuff cooking up, a lot of good things going. Hope you had a great weekend. Looking forward to this week. We're not too far off from the NFL Combine, so we're starting to count down the days. I'm pumped for it. Shout out to Anthony, Best Ball on Call. Good to see you, brother. Getting in here early, smashing the like, always supporting the channel. We got Hartman in here with the blue Lambos. Love to see it. Also, if you become a YouTube channel member, a premium monthly subscription to support the channel, I will personally give you access to my NFL best ball data models, my ADP tracking tool, and I'll share all that with you in my Google Sheets, the analytics that I built out. I also have it for the Albatross for the PGA best ball. Shout out to Colin Morikawa getting his first win in a long time at Pebble Beach today. Like a champ, the guy we knew he is and could be. That's why we've been drafting a ton of Colin Morikawa in the Albatross. He's going to be jumping up into rounds 2 and 3 in ADP, almost certainly. So, but if you're playing any PGA best ball as well for the Albatross, subscribe, become a premium channel member, and I will share with you the tournament history, the ADP tracking tool, all the good stuff you need to know, the player qualifications that I update weekly, along with the ADP movements, the official world golf ranking movements, which players are going to be in which majors and who's not. Key information you need to know to draft the Albatross with some confidence. And I've been really enjoying it. I've been going pretty deep into those drafts. I've done about 40 so far, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's big board season, it's Albatross season, and we're having a good time. Shout out to Jeff T, wide receiver 1, Andy Isabella. He says, what a throwback. What a name. I want to say Andy Isabella was that rookie year? Was that 2020? Was that the Andy Isabella year? I'm almost certain it was the same year we had Hakeem Butler, a.k.a. Hakeem Bustler. And who else was in that draft class? I mean, just what a throwback. Huhames says AFK-ish, but I got you. Hey, appreciate you, Huhames. I see you in the draft room. And I knew when I jumped in this one, I saw Huhames, Hartman, and Anthony all in the same draft room. I knew something was up. So glad to see Anthony streaming tonight as well. I'm going to pull open his channel. I'm going to throw it in the chat. And everyone here knows Best Ball on Call, friend of the channel, friend of the community. Make sure you jump over there. Make sure you're subscribed. Go like his stream as well and show him some love. Great dude. And glad to see that he's up and drafting some teams. for the big board. I'll have to pop over there a little bit later, maybe in my intermission between my stream tonight and then joining BBG later. I have to pop over if Anthony's still live. Actually, I'm gonna go pop. I've got it up right now. I'm in there. I'm throwing it on the stream. I'm saying what's up. So make sure you hit the link. Go over there, smash the like for our guy. Boom. Colin Morikawa being good at golf made my old bones feel young again. It's crazy. I was listening to the Second Cut podcast with Rick Gaiman and Greg Ducharme, and they were doing their tournament recap. And at the point, so Colin Morikawa and Scotty Scheffler are the same age. Mind blowing. And one of the things they were talking about comping was, at the point in Colin's career, he had, I think it was 6 PGA Tour victories and 2 major victories before Scotty even won his first major. Colin won the Open, I think it was 2021, it was. And then the very next major was Scotty winning at the Masters in 2022. Since then, Scotty's gone on to win, practically everything under the sun, and their careers kind of diverged from there. So it's just an interesting kind of full circle moment. But I've been a big fan of Morikawa. I know he's a great ball striker, good with the irons, and it's hard to win these golf tournaments. So good to see him back in the winner circle. This draft for me, starting off McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and Rashee Rice. If I go Zay Flowers here, it's a pretty big commitment to the Ravens. I'm not afraid to do it. We'll see what Jay Stroh does coming back around. He goes Zay Flowers. So I'm not going to go Colston Loveland. I think I'm going to pass on him at this price. I've drafted a little bit of him, but I'm not smashing him every time. It's Devonta Smith for me here. I think that's the way I want to play this. And if for some reason Lamar Jackson comes back around to pick 54, I'm going to hammer him there. But I feel like, yeah, Smith, we've seen his spike week potential. Now with the Eagles getting a new offensive coordinator, there's some things changing. Maybe the offense is a little bit better in the passing game than what we've seen last year. Yeah, Lamar, I didn't expect Lamar to come back around, but there's a small chance. Somewhat of a balanced start for me. I mean, traditionally, some of the best teams, best scoring offenses over the last couple of years, we've got McCaffrey on the 49ers, Derrick Henry with the Ravens, Rashee Rice on the Chiefs, Devonta Smith in the Eagles. So I'm investing in some quality teams, some good offenses, and some, at least for McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, you could argue they're kind of the engine of the offense. I think the Ravens really do go through Lamar Jackson more than anything. But Rashee Rice, pending his legal situation, probably the most important fantasy asset on the Chiefs. And then Devonta Smith, hard to say. Do they move AJ Brown? Is he expendable? That's really hard to say. Okay, here's where I don't know what I want to do. I think I'm just going to go DeAndre Swift and hammer running back early. I know there's better wide receiver values that I like in the later rounds, in the next couple of rounds, but running backs kind of dry up for me to a point. And I do take DeAndre Swift over Quinshon Judkins. It's a better team, better offense, better offensive line, better quarterback play, more touchdown availability. He's healthy. Judkins, the injury. I think the Monin guy splitting snaps with Swift. I think Swift is still the 1A. I think he's still the bell cow for them. And Monin guy gets some nice run, had some good weeks. With Judkins, I think he could even split the duties more with Dylan Sampson potentially in year 2, coming back from that big ankle injury and surgeries that he's had. So I was honestly between Swift there, Tate, and Watson. Yo, what's up, Tyler? How we doing, brother? Good to see you, my friend. BBOC just doing one? Okay, well, we're in the one. Good to know. Good to know. Is it normal for so many guys to score in the high teens and 20s at Pebble Beach? Says Hartman. I don't think it's normal, but last year they set the scoring record at Pebble Beach, the lowest average score, and this year was, if not nearly the same, like close. It might have even been better. I haven't heard officially yet, but they there were some windy conditions over the last 2 days, as you could tell with the putting. There was that moment on Saturday where Ryu Hisatsune is putting on the 18th green, and he cannot get his ball to stop moving in the wind, and he has to keep placing it back to his ball mark, and it's the wind's pushing it, and it's just like a really funny situation. And then he makes the putt, or he putts the ball, and it doesn't go in, but it's like an inch from the hole, and the wind almost blows it in, but he ends up tapping it in. I think it was. I mean, the players are getting after it. Pebble Beach is a test, but it's not like the hardest course. It's kind of in the middle for difficulty. It's a good enough course. It's a difficult real life course, but uh, they seem to take advantage of it. And some guys went low. So Drake May's there. I don't know. I have a big decision to make. I went DK Metcalf. I'm going to throw in Metcalf there for my wide receiver 3. I think I'm cool with that. It seems like an okay range to go for him. The signs are pointing to Aaron Rodgers coming back. I'm probably not going to be drafting Aaron Rodgers in 2026, but I think he can support some fantasy relevant pieces. So I'll take a Metcalf in round 6 for my wide receiver 3. I think that's fair. I don't want to click Marvin Harrison. I feel like that's, and maybe that's a mistake. Maybe we see a year 3 breakout from Marvin Harrison. So I'll sprinkle him in too, but there's another receiver. It's Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson ends up going to the draft in the 1 spot. I like Michael Wilson a lot here. I almost took him over Metcalf, and I usually do. So from the rookie wide receivers in this draft, we see Lemon go at pick 48, a little earlier ahead of ADP, Tate at 55, and Jordan Tyson at 59. That's close to my rankings for them. I'll get into my rookie rankings after this pick, kind of what I truly believe for the wide receivers. Okay, so here, do I want to take Tucker Craft? I think I kind of do. Let's do that. Let me get Tucker Craft here. I think he could be the number 1 option on the Packers if it's not Christian Watson. And Christian Watson's kind of a big play guy, but Tucker Craft potentially could be racking up the most receptions in probably the majority of their games. My rookie wide receiver rankings, and I'm still going to play it close to ADP, but I go Lemon, Tate, and then honestly, I think Casey Concepcion is to me gonna have a more instant impact than Jordan Tyson. Tyson's more of like a boundary receiver, jump ball guy, true alpha maybe, but those archetypes in my mind tend to bust at a higher rate than they hit. So guys like Tyson and even Boston are kind of, to me, more similar, and I'm not super excited about them. I'll draft them, but I'm not going to be like overexposed. I'm happy to be drafting Lemon and Tate and Conception at ADP. Tyson and Boston, I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of just, I'll take some of them. Boston's been falling. He's past pick 100 right now, so he's kind of a good cheap option if he does end up going in the first round. Even if he goes in the second round of the NFL draft, which we expect, he's probably a okay value. Can he hit year 1 and be relevant is the bigger question. I think with Lemon and Tate, and even Concepcion, I have a higher degree of faith that they will be relevant in year 1, especially if Concepcion goes at the end of the first round to a team like the Bills or the Patriots. So landing spot will matter. I started this draft off with McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and then Rice, Devonta Smith, uh, DeAndre Swift, DK Metcalf, and Tucker Craft. I'm looking to get I was gonna look for Purdy there. Perfectly fine going Mahomes if I get the chance. So I'll take Mahomes here at pick 88. ADP 88, pick 91 to match up with my Rashi Rice. I guess I would go Purdy first and try to push Mahomes because I do like to stack Purdy with McCaffrey as much as possible, but didn't get the chance here. I'm really glad I'm always happy when I grab 3 running backs in, like, the first 5 or 6 rounds because I don't like the running back options here, but I'm perfectly fine with the wide receiver options, and then this is where the quarterbacks typically go, this is the quarterback zone. It's moved up from last year, maybe a round or 2, but it makes sense if you try to target at least 1, if not 2 of your quarterbacks in this range, and then also I don't mind getting a tight end after I've started to fill out some of my flex positions. I think Tucker Kraft is a difference maker. He's like a borderline elite tight end, and I think we haven't seen his ceiling yet. So I'm pretty okay with his price tag going in the 7th round. Yo, what's up, Cody? How we doing, brother? Happy Sunday. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Uh, yeah, I think with my next pick, I probably do go back to wide receiver, and I've got 2, 3 guys in mind. I was talking about Denzel Boston. I probably don't get him at the 102. I probably want to get him later as he continues to fall in ADP. He's been a faller since the opening of the big board, and I'm okay with Denzel Boston. I think he's a decent bet as far as the rookie wide receivers go. I just think that his price is going to continue to fall potentially up until the NFL draft. And if he ends up going in the first round, he should rise. If he's a second round pick, he might stay around here. But I think it's completely reasonable to think that Boston ends up being like a 10th round pick more consistently than going in the 8th and 9th where he's been. So DJ Moore was probably my favorite pick on the board there. I think for my double stack, I will go Xavier Worthy. I don't think I've even clicked Worthy yet so far, but it seems like the perfect team to take him on where I'm really secure at running back. I've got a tight end. I can stack him with Mahomes, and I am looking for more wide receiver help. It was between I would have taken Moore, then Worthy, then probably Addison. Because to me, even before I want to take Denzel Boston, there are a number of wide receivers on the board that I think are just better picks, some veteran players that I think have much higher floors and arguably higher ceilings too on a per week kind of scoring basis. Wan'Dale Robinson is one of those guys, back-to-back seasons with 140 targets. And does he go back to the Giants? Probably free agent, but I think they might bring him back. Boston doesn't run 10 here. His ADP right now is like playing football for a New York team seems like not a good idea. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, Jawan Jennings. I think I'm gonna go Jawan Jennings. Potentially he goes back to San Francisco. Then I get a team stack with my McCaffrey, my first pick. If he goes somewhere else, is a risk that he just kind of duds out, but he's my wide receiver 5. He got hot at the end of last season with his touchdowns. I was between him and Shakir. I think Shakir's at risk to just lose out on some target share to whatever rookie they draft at wide receiver, or if they even bring in a free agent. So, and Shakir's never been that exciting. He's more of a floor play and lacks the true ceiling. Never been a big touchdown scorer. So I lean to Jennings there, even with the risk that Jennings leaves San Francisco as a free agent and then ends up somewhere else that's not a good fit. He's been a good fit for San Francisco and what they've needed out of him the last couple seasons. Yo, what's up, Mike Rob? Good to see you, brother. Tell that to the 45 commercials I see on a football Sunday of Eli Manning. Yeah, it's true. It's true. There's something about the Manning name. It just the corporations love to endorse those guys. Okay, well, I honestly was going to consider taking Shakir with my last pick. He's still there. I need to go back to QB at some point. I'm gonna go Shakir though. So a 1-3-6-1 build. I'm gonna chill at wide receiver because it's getting pretty flat. It's getting pretty flat after this. I got a nice little ADP value on Shakir, so I'll take advantage of it. And I'm gonna hammer running back because I really hate the late running back options. There goes Gainwell. I do need to get back to quarterback before too late. This is a bet on Mahomes just being the guy. I've got him double stacked with Rice and Worthy. So I don't know. QB2, I don't know if I can find someone in here. Maybe there's some names left. It can still be the guy you need in like week 17 or week 16 and have a big spike week. But it's starting to dry up quick. And I don't really have any good stacking options left. Which is always the bummer. I feel like this year's the puzzle at QB is a little bit tougher if you don't invest heavily early. Something I still want to lean into the late QB builds and hope just to get lucky and hit on one of these late QBs, if like a bounce back year or a career year. We'll see. I'm almost certainly going to take a quarterback with my next pick because even the running backs don't get me too excited. So I'm going to push that. I will say Tyrone Tracy, I don't mind if he's there. I'll have to think about it. Otherwise, I should go Mendoza or CJ Stroud. Yeah, Tracy goes. I'm cool with going with Fernando Mendoza. Just a little past ADP. So I think Mendoza, who knows? In Las Vegas, it's definitely not a great environment, but maybe they can change some things pretty quickly and turn some things around. We've seen teams immediately get better when they invest in a first-round quarterback, and then they doubled down on that. Bears did it with Caleb, although it took some time. The Texans did it with Stroud. So can the Raiders turn it around quickly? And I think Mendoza he's a little mobile. He's young enough to still want to rush for some touchdowns and do it all himself, as we saw in the college football playoff championship game when they won the Natty. Kenyon Sadiq is a player I'm going to stop drafting. I think his price, it's borderline the right price, but there are just other quality tight ends that go after him that have higher upside and much higher floors. So I don't think Sadiq, and until I learn otherwise, I don't think he has the same potential to be a top, 5 or 6 tight end like we saw with Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland or other guys like Bowers years before. So I think he's just overpriced. He's kind of in this middle tier. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, here I'll probably just go Hunter Henry, a tight end that I do like in this range. I was looking at the running backs, and it's like I'll push it. I'll see who comes back around. It's a pretty bad tier of running backs here. It's been a while since I've drafted a running back, but starting off 1-2 with McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, I feel like I can just continue to push it. Then I went Rice, stacked him up with Mahomes, and I got Xavier Worthy, Devonta Smith, DeAndre Swift, Metcalf. So that's kind of my core. Tucker Kraft, and now Hunter Henry. And then Juwan Jinks, Khalil Shakir, Mendoza. Maybe I can do... I'm going to see where Trey Harris has been going. Not Trey Harris. Trey Tucker. He's been going about pick 182, so I might be able to get him as my either last or second to last wide receiver, depending if I do like a 7 or an 8 wide receiver build. And that's probably the only other Raider I'm going to want. So I mean, I could always do Besh. Jack Besh goes in like the last round. That's not a terrible idea. If I miss out on Trey Tucker for whatever reason. Or if I get to pick 174 and I need to make another selection like a running back or something. Kamara goes, not drafting him. Benson goes, I'm not really drafting him. Rachaad White, I mean, for everything that we've known about Rachaad White, he was super underwhelming last year when Bucky came back and didn't really, like he just, I don't know, he didn't really capitalize on the time when Bucky was out either. So I have some reservations. I think Spears is a good click. I would have queued him up. Jordan Mason goes. I'm okay to try again on Jordan Mason at a cheaper price, but he doesn't really catch a lot of passes. So if the touchdowns aren't there for the Vikings, it just doesn't seem great. Barner goes. Interesting pick. I really don't like any of the selections in this range at running back. So I think what I do is I reach up a little bit on QB and go ahead and take Penix here. So I do think Penix is going to come back, be fine, be the starter. And I want to see if he can have kind of the year that we've been expecting for a while, where he's just a really solid pocket passer and can throw for a ton of yards. I don't think he's going to be as mobile as he ever was with all of the ACL injuries that he's had, and we'll see. Depending on how good this Atlanta offense is, I mean, they have London, they've got Bijan, right? So it could be a pretty strong offense, even Kyle Pitts to some extent. So I think Penix can be a guy that just can have some spike weeks as a pocket passer, not in the sense of like season-long success that we saw like with Stafford, but maybe in like little streaks of a Stafford-esque type of value for a pocket passer where we're getting him in the 14th round. And can he throw for 300 and 3 touchdowns? I think it's possible with the cast around him and Kevin Stefanski maybe being an upgrade at coaching for them. So I'm still buying Michael Penix. I think I'm cool taking him closer to like Stroud even, but right now his ADP is much later, so he seems like a good value to me. So Kamani Vidal was good in limited opportunities with the Chargers. He's a free agent, kind of a low floor guy, but if he gets 20 touches a game, we've seen what he can do, and he can have like a 20-point week. So I'm not super out on Vidal at this price based on what we've seen. I pushed Trey Tucker. I think he might come back around. I feel pretty good at wide receiver, so even taking Mendoza and Penix unstacked is okay at this rate. I have the Mahomes double stacked. It's kind of my core build. Yeah, Jeff, I do need to get some strobe lights. We're gonna up the ambiance here pretty soon. We'll get something else working out for the background for the stream. Mendoza with Kubiak feels like it at least gives you a decent weekly floor. Yeah, just competent play calling, and we'll see what the Raiders do. We'll see if they can grab Mendoza and improve their offensive line. I think it can be manageable. Genty becomes like their workhorse engine of the offense. They rely on him a lot. I think some good things can happen. The offensive line has to get better. The play calling has to improve. Yo, what's up, Just Bandit? Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Yo, hit him with the gritty. Good to see you. I hope Justin Fields goes to the Raiders. Oh my God, don't say that. I have no idea where Fields is going to land. That is, and then Trey Tucker goes to Habees, 430. Damn, you hate to see it. Oh, and Torrey Horton goes. That was my next favorite click. So I don't need a quarterback. Running back, it's pretty rough. Wide receiver looks really, really flat. Tight end, I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and take Dylan Sampson here. Kind of like what I was arguing earlier. I think he can take some of the load off of Quinshon Judkins, but are the Browns a team you want a piece of? I don't even know if you do, but this is the cheaper option, and I think Dylan Sampson. I was interested in him last season, so I'll follow that up. I think he might have some opportunity to get some snaps. The build so far, we've got a 3-5-6-2 with Mahomes, Mendoza, and Penix at quarterback. At running back, I go McCaffrey and Derrick Henry back-to-back. Then I grab Swift in the 5th round. I just double-tapped Vidal and Sampson. Wide receivers, I have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy stacked up with Mahomes. Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, Jawan Jennings, Khalil Shakir. So some touchdown scorers, some big playability guys, also some PPR merchants like Rashee Rice and Khalil Shakir. And then Tucker Kraft and Hunter Henry at tight end. Just a competent tight end room of guys who are good inline blockers that stay on the field, get a bunch of snaps, can become like an option in the red zone. There are a couple tight ends I like here. I could take one of them. Wide receiver, I don't care too much about. It's pretty flat. I guess the thought is that Keenan Allen retires. I'll go Mason Taylor. I think he's still talented. I guess the thought that Keenan Allen retires because he was technically the leader on the Chargers last year in target share. And if he's just washed and retires, probably not worth drafting, but he's available late. It's risky. I hate drafting players in the big board that end up retiring before the season. Like we've seen Devontae Parker do in the past. Last year, it's like Amari Cooper and some others, over the years. So not psyched to like grab the old veteran wide receiver, even if he was somewhat effective for a portion of last season. Hames typing out Penix feels good. There's no shame in that, Hames. I think Penix does feel good this season. I need to bounce back. New coaching. Let's see if he can stay healthy, stay on the field. Yeah, Mike says, what are my Kyler hopes? I don't know. It's really tough to figure out. Does he go to the Dolphins? Where does he go? I don't have a good sense of that yet. The Dolphins are paying Tua $50 million a year to be a backup quarterback, so I don't know what their ability is to bring in anyone. Brissett lost like every game he started for them last year, so it is interesting. I think the hope is that Kyler becomes a starter somewhere. I'm not sure where. So I'm done at tight end. I'm done at QB. Running backs, or wide receiver. I'm going to go Emmanuel Wilson. I've clicked him a few times. I might need to change up that pick. He's a free agent. He could get re-signed by the Packers, probably the best case scenario, because they know how to use him. If he goes somewhere else, it's just so kind of a dart throw. So I have 6 running backs. I have McCaffrey, Henry, Swift, Vidal, Sampson, Wilson. I could probably stop there and end up opting for potentially 8 receivers. We'll just see, because I'm going to keep it fluid. I need to think about the Falcons, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. I've got one Falcon in mind. I don't think there's any... Oh, no, I've got one Raider in mind, too. I mentioned him earlier. And then Chiefs, I'm probably just done with the Chiefs. I didn't even see where Kelsey went. I don't know if I'm so excited about Kelsey, even at cost. I wonder how effective he's going to be. I think the perception of his ability to score touchdowns is still kind of overstated based on the recent history. And then I think there is there is more injury risk with him. Derek Carr gets drafted. I've heard the rumors about Derek Carr, and that's kind of like there's some buzz around Derek Carr. So I'm not too surprised to see him get drafted in the big board, especially on a team that has 4 QBs, it looks like. I'm on the clock. Do I take Darnell Mooney and hope for a bounce back season? Or do I go Jack Besh? I'm going to go Mooney. I have way more confidence in Darnell Mooney having a bounce back. I get the Penix stack, assuming that Mooney... I'm pretty sure he's still there in Atlanta. I don't think he's a free agent, and I don't think they're going to cut him or something, but let me know in the chat otherwise. And then, Mike, what are your hopes for Kyler? What are you thinking? I know there's some people that are pretty high on him. I'm fine taking him at ADP. I think him going here at 131, he's starting to rise. He's been in the 140s, 150s most of the big board so far. I also think that Ty Simpson and even honestly, Garrett Nussmeier probably has a chance to start some games this season. I think Ty Simpson's going to start some games more than he might potentially start more games than he doesn't start for a team like the Jets. Last pick, do I want a wide receiver or a running back? Is Brashard Smith worth anything? I honestly don't know. I guess for the team stack, because it's like Brashard Smith, Devin Neal, Ollie Gordon. Not the most exciting. I think Chris Rodriguez is fun, but he doesn't catch balls, which is the part that worries me. Isaiah Davis, I've clicked him a few times in the last round. If I took a wide receiver, who would I take? I could take Jack Besh. Christian Kirk goes really late. I guess he's not really worth drafting anymore. I think I'm good at running back. I will grab Besh for like a second-year upside kind of pick. Stacked with Mendoza. Maybe Mendoza elevates everyone in the offense. I think there is some upside there. Huhaim says his QBs are so bad. Let's go look at them. Let's go roast them. So Huhaim's from the 3 spot. Oh, he's the team. Yeah, of course. So when I scroll down, I lose track of which team's which. But he goes Willis, Daniel Jones. Honestly, I don't mind that. Shedeur Sanders, that's sketchy. Derek Carr. and you heard me talking about him. Like I'm hearing rumors that Derek Carr is going to come back and play somewhere. Where will he come back and compete for a spot? I'm not sure, but interesting to think about. Rashard Smith goes with the last pick. I consider taking him. I just don't even know. Do the Chiefs somehow land Jeremiah Love? Do the Commanders take Jeremiah Love? Or the Saints, who have the next pick after the Commanders, do they go with Jeremiah Love? I've seen all of that mocked. In this draft, Boston ends up going at the 110, Concepcion at the 132. The second running back drafted was Price at 99, followed by Emmett Johnson at 123, and then actually Coleman at 109, and then Emmett Johnson at 123. I have not drafted a ton of Coleman. I'm getting some Emmett Johnson. I'm going to start fading Sadiq. I don't think he's like a true inline blocking tight end. I wonder how much he'll be on the field. And I wonder what his ceiling is as more of a pure pass catching tight end. I think my research has kind of told me these things. So I would much rather have a guy like Hunter Henry, Mark Andrews. And I have come around on Brenton Strange. I looked more into it. I think Huhams is right on that call. Brenton Strange could be a guy for that offense. And we could see him break through and become potentially a top tight end in the league. So I think Brenton Strange is worth the click in the range that he goes, where you've already filled out your roster with your wide receivers and running backs. You have a quarterback or two. So he's not too expensive. Pick 134 is a very good price, I think. I've come around to that. But I kind of feel the same way about Hunter Henry. And then Mason Taylor, I think I drafted him a decent amount last year. I think I'm going to continue to draft him and just hope the Jets situation improves. But I know we're not very confident in that, but I think there's an outcome where the Jets surprise to the upside. Maybe not a good team, but a good enough team for fantasy. And then Mason Taylor is a guy that can become relevant, and he's super cheap. Gritty says Devontae Walker or Rashad Bateman. Yeah. I mean, my gut just says Rashad Bateman, right? But he had such a letdown season. I don't know if that's more related to Lamar missing time or Bateman just not having a good season. I don't even know how to describe what happened going from 2024 to 2025 for Bateman. What do you think there, Mike? Yo, what's up, gangstas? Jalapeno Jenkins, good to see you, brother. Let's jump right back into another draft. Boom. Full screen face. Thanks for being here. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm joining into another big board right now. Entering in. If you're watching this in the future, I've left a comment below. Go ahead and comment back and let me know your thoughts. Let me know which player you're drafting first, which wide receiver. And thanks for being here. Make sure you slap a like on the stream if you're watching live, if you haven't already. And if you're watching in the future, make sure you're subscribed. Help me hit 1,000 subs before the start of the NFL season. And then after this draft, I'm going to be going live with the one, the only BBG Best Ball Guy. So I'm going to jump over to his channel in probably about 30 or 40 minutes once this draft wraps up. Which reminds me, I need to pop over there on Twitter and check the DMs. Okay, we're good. We're good. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, let's bring the draft board back up. Waiting on 3 for a big board. Disbanded says My mom won't let me draft right now. Tough scene. That's because you didn't buy her flowers for Valentine's Day, and you should have. And you should have written a card too. That's your fault. Otherwise, you'd be here drafting with us. And we filled. Let's go. Peanut says, I feel like there's a huge tight end tier that spans many rounds. It's hard to take earlier guys when the Henry and the Juwan Johnsons, the Mark Andrews are still so cheap. I agree with that. And the reason why I do take some guys earlier is just to make sure I maintain like some exposure, because I think like any one of them can get it done. But you're right. The opportunity cost of taking an earlier tight end is actually kind of steep. Especially if you do it in like I just took in that last one, I took Tucker Kraft, and there's like a number of decent skill position players who go around there. And actually, you know what it really is? There's decent quarterbacks who go around there. So the opportunity cost on a guy like Tucker Kraft is the quarterbacks in that range, more so than I would say the running backs, which are kind of bad in that part of the draft. And then forgot to do this. All right, so we have the 3 spot. I'm gonna go Puka. My opinion is I am going to draft in the first 2-3 rounds closer to ADP, just so I have exposure to all of the players, and I don't want to be overexposed. Like I don't want to be like, oh, I need 30% of any player in the first round. So I'm going to stick to ADP, but I mean, you can make the case there for Jamar Chase over Puka. You can make the case for both Puka and Jamar Chase over Gibbs, I think. McCaffrey's the one guy I do like a lot, and so I'm okay with going JSN before McCaffrey, but I take McCaffrey ahead of Genty and Taylor and CeeDee Lamb pretty much every time. So that's one of my only stands there. I'm fading CeeDee Lamb to the second round, especially with the rumors that Pickens is going to get franchise tagged and brought back to Dallas. That's like, if Pickens somehow does not end up in Dallas, I'm okay with CeeDee Lamb in the first round. But with them together, I think Lamb is more of a 1-2 turn guy for me, because I love Achane. I like taking Cook. I think Cook's got 32 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. What is it at now? I'll look it up. Cook has 32 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. There are only so many players who can even dream of doing that. And it's just because he's the best player on the Bills that's not Josh Allen. I love Amon-Ra. I'm taking Amon-Ra ahead of CeeDee Lamb. And then Justin Jefferson, I have a pretty big stand against until they get a quarterback upgrade. So if we see that like Derek Carr goes to Minnesota, or Kirk Cousins goes back to Minnesota, maybe even Kyler Murray in Minnesota would be an upgrade, I think. So if that happens, I will agree that Justin Jefferson at ADP makes sense. But until then, I'll take Neighbors ahead of him. I'll take Derrick Henry ahead of him. Trey McBride, Drake London, George Pickens. I think that the team environment matters a lot. The ability to access touchdown scoring drives, generate points. That's why guys like Amon-Ra and Gibbs can both go in the first round. The Lions score a shit ton of points. Okay, I don't think Bowers goes. I don't think I've had a chance to go Puka and Bowers so far. Back-to-back drafts taking Derrick Henry. I'm cool with it. I like Pickens a lot. But I'll go Derrick Henry. I thought about going Pickens. I'm pretty sure Hartman in the 2 spot's going to take a wide receiver. He goes Nico. And then we got P-Punch going JT and Love. Very nice. Let me know if you're in here drafting with me if I don't recognize your Underdog username. Okay, I don't think I want to go with I think this time I'm going to go Olave. You know what? Let's just have fun. Let's go Ken Walker. Do something a little bit different. Puka, Derrick Henry, Ken Walker, and then I am okay with the wide receiver options kind of in the end of the fourth, beginning of the fifth. So on this part of the board, let's have some fun here. A high T start with Derrick Henry and Ken Walker. I've come around on Ken Walker based on the fact that I think Charbonnet is going to miss time in the beginning of the season. They're going to ease him back from his injury. And if Ken Walker's getting anywhere from 20 to 30 touches per game, sign me up. Yo, what's up, Sean? How we doing, brother? Cheers. Anthony, my guy. Good to see you. Good to see you live. Hope you had a good draft. I know we were in the same room. It was so funny. I love to see you in there. Thank you. Appreciate you for being the first one in the chat, throwing the likes on the stream, getting it started off strong, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday. And everyone, hope you're looking forward to this week. You know, the Olympics are going on. Whatever, NBA All-Star game. Football's officially done for. We got some golf if you're interested in that. But it's February. It was about 75 degrees for most of my day. I drove back from Austin. I had been in Austin for the last 5 days, staying with both my in-laws and my parents who both live in the Austin area. And I had the whole family there. So I just drove back today, this morning, and now I'm back here at the home base in Houston. Things are good. I'm looking forward to this week. I'm going to be busy, productive, and we're going to get after it. So NFL Combine's right around the corner. And I feel like that is really when we start to peak on the hype around these rookies and these big board drafts, and people start to come back to fantasy football if they took any time off. That's when they start to like perk up. Tomorrow night, Bindles and I, of course, have our Ballsy show every Monday night. We're going live tomorrow. We're talking Bindles Dynasty rankings. He's populated a new sheet with his Dynasty rankings. We've got that, and you can check it out. You can join Bindles Discord and get access to his free Dynasty rankings. We're going to talk about that live on the stream tomorrow and draft a big board. So that's going to be fun. And then Wednesday night, I'm going live doing PGA Best Ball for my Birdie Hunting show is what I'm calling it. Yeah, I'm going to preview the Genesis at Riviera in LA. It's a fun tournament, the Invitational. I'm also going to talk one and dones. I'm going to get into all of that and more. Let's go to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson with Derrick Henry. Bang. It hasn't worked before, but maybe it works for us this time. Who knows? Otherwise, I would have taken Buka, Waddle. Do I go Terry McLaurin here? I think I do. He had such a shitty year last year after holding out. But he was really good with Jaden Daniels when they're both healthy at the same time. So whatever. And I kind of put myself in a position I don't think I could even draft Jaden Daniels if he fell to me at pick 70 because I took Lamar. But something felt right about team stacking the Ravens and getting Lamar Jackson with Derrick Henry and then potentially getting all of their rushing touchdowns and Lamar having like a bounce back year would be nice. He can stay healthy. I'm like going Lemon here over McLaurin. There's some upside to Lemon and some downside to McLaurin risk. I do if I didn't go Ken Walker, if I instead took Olave there, this would be a range where I would have gone Harvey. And I think I'm at the point where I might be Harvey over Henderson. The part that scares me is like, do the Broncos bring in a free agent running back to complement Harvey? Because I think they potentially will. And who could that be? Rico Dowdle? Brees Hall? Guys that would be very threatening to Harvey's workload. But Harvey's pretty efficient. He was getting those touchdowns on limited touches. He's catching passes, so there's something there. But I already know that Henderson has competition with Ramondre. That's keeping me off him in this range, although I really like Henderson's upside too. I think Henderson, we saw his upside last season. It's slightly potentially higher than Harvey's in a single game scenario. So that's something to keep in mind, and to not be, I don't want to have like zero Henderson and Harvey in this range. I've already drafted him a few times, but I do feel like I end up going Swift more reliably, or like even Javonte Williams is, I think, a reliable pick in this range. Could be good. We saw him bounce back. Brian Thomas, I want to be ahead of the curve on him. Sutton is still useful. He's like the leading target getter for Denver. He's really their only good receiver. So I know that he's getting up there in age too, like McLaurin, but I think Sutton's a good pick in this range. Sutton's probably a better pick than McLaurin, unless we just think Jaden Daniels and McLaurin hit it off again like they did in 2024 going forward this season. Yeah, okay, Jaden Daniels goes, the drafter, Chris King, 13. Thank goodness, because I'd have been so tempted to take him at 70 for my stack, but I really should not with Lamar on my team. Peanut says, are people not high on JT because they didn't think Daniel Jones is back? JT's a beast when DJ played. Yeah, I think of that, and then kind of he had some low floor games down the stretch at the end of last season. He kind of was not great on the back 9, I guess you could say. I think weeks 9 to 17. Okay, here, I'm surprised Burrow is still there. That's kind of crazy, but I am going to go Michael Wilson this time. I didn't take him last time, but I want to get him this time. I like Michael Wilson a lot. And then see what Hartman does. He goes Tootin, Wren, Nascent, takes Metcalf and Kraft. Burrow at 75. I think I just do that. Otherwise, Ramondre, Parker Washington. You guys need to love me. I'm maintaining the integrity of the game. I'm not letting Coric 9 getting Jamar Chase stacked with Burrow around past ADP. But honestly, I'll just take Burrow there. I think Burrow could be a guy you need. And now I could stop with a 2 QB build. He's going to hate me. This Coric guy, he's definitely not watching, but he's pissed right now. I just sniped his Burrow. And I didn't do it to spite him. I did it because I honestly want Burrow there. I think I don't get enough Burrow. And so having Burrow with Puka is somewhat of an interesting combo. Where did T go in this one? What the hell? T. Higgins went pick 37? This seems crazy to me. And then Chase Brown went really early, pick 20, which I think is totally fair. So I have like access to none of the important pieces for Cincy, but I think Joe Burrow, even naked, can return value in the 7th round here. Pretty cheap Joe Burrow. Last year, the goal was to push him to the 6-7 turn and stack him with Jamar Chase, and that was like the goal. I got him past that pick this time, so I think he does bounce right back and is super effective and not just injury plagued. So I don't know. Would you guys have taken naked Burrow there? I think it's worth it, even with my Lamar Jackson. Now I'm just like done at QB. I can take a QB in the last round, and I don't need much out of it. Get some upside, maybe some bye week coverage, if anything. But this is where now I need to just get some decent volume in these middle rounds where I would be taking like a QB to get some more wide receivers, because now I'm at 3 through 7 rounds. A little thin. I've got Puka though, so I'm not really worried. And I do believe Michael Wilson can be the alpha in his offense. unless Marvin Harrison steps up in a big way. But I don't think I've seen enough out of Marvin Harrison to think that he could take the leap that we saw JSN take in year 3. Mike says, I think it's more that Daniel Jones is going to probably come back in a bit of a shell of himself, and it won't help JT as much as he did last year. I think that's somewhat true. But the bad taste in people's mouth with JT, where he was the guy you needed for the first half of the season, but he kind of wrecked your team the second half of the season. Tony Pollard was like equally effective the second half of the season compared to JT, and Tony Pollard was useless in the first half of the season. So that's kind of interesting as a dichotomy there. If you've looked into how effective Pollard was for a stretch of games. At 94, I get a 10-pick ADP slide on Jacoby Myers if he's there, and he is. So do I just take him? I'm okay with it. I would have taken DJ Moore ahead of him and considered Pittman too. Pittman was good for the beginning of the season, but he really faded. Love goes. I'm going to do something I never do. I am going to go... I'm going to go Stafford. I thought I would push and go late QB, but I want the Puka stack. So now I have Puka and Stafford. I have Lamar Jackson with Derrick Henry, and then I have an unstacked Burrow just for season-long, scoring, ceiling. I have not built a team like this at all so far. 3 quarterbacks through 9 rounds. I'm almost certainly the only team with 3 QBs so far. Yeah, and 2 teams have 0 quarterbacks. So something different I'm trying. I haven't built a team like this. This is like super early elite quarterback build. And then are there even any Bengals players worth drafting? I don't draft Mike Gesicki. I think he's useless. I could take Yoshivas. They just seem to like him. Is Yoshivas a free agent? And then could the Bengals draft a rookie wide receiver? Is there someone late? I don't even know. Someone super late. I could throw out a few names that they might target, like Zachariah Branch or Jacoby Lane, Malachi Fields, Jeremy Bernard. Could one of those guys end up on the Bengals? And then for some reason, if Chaser T misses any time next season, there's a rookie that becomes relevant all of a sudden. I feel like the Bengals have been missing depth at wide receiver for a while. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them draft a rookie at some point. MVP RB in the 3rd round, easy game. Yeah, Ken Walker, Super Bowl MVP Ken Walker. Put some respect on his name. My bad. Sean's says, I may have won my redraft league. Had Seattle let K9 eat all year. Bitter about it. Yeah, no, I feel that too. I had K9 in my redraft league. He was my RB3 in my redraft league, and I traded him in week 5, I guess. I traded him and T. Higgins for freaking Justin Fields, who then decided to stop being effective and get benched, and Rashee Rice, who was fine. But I was bitter too. Ken Walker was terrible for the first half of the season. People forget. Literally one of the worst picks. Terrible. He wasn't even good all season. He was good in the playoffs. He was good when Charbonnet stopped playing. That's concerning. Is Chris Godwin dust? Or can he be effective again? He was always kind of a PPR scam. I really wanted Wandale there, and I was considering Godwin. Damn it. Do I need a running back? I'll go Jaden Reed. Seems fine. Whoops, what was that? took Shakir last time, so I don't feel like I have to stake him every draft. Goddard is interesting. I only have 2 running backs. I could take a tight end. I like Tyrone Tracy, so I'll take him there. Hope there wasn't anything I'm missing. Otherwise, I would have gone like Jake Ferguson or Goddard. Goddard went ahead of me. I would have gone like Jake Ferguson. I might just go late tight end. Given the way I've built this team with the super early QB, I still need to get more like flex position players, more wide receivers and running backs. I guess I've caught up at wide receiver. I'm pretty caught up at wide receiver. So it's a 3-3-5-0 build. I've never done a build like this year so far. I had Puka stacked up with Stafford, Derrick Henry stacked up with Lamar. A team stack, that is. We know Derrick Henry didn't really catch a lot of passes. Ken Walker, Super Bowl MVP, don't forget. Terry McLaurin, big Michael Wilson, Joe Burrow. I guess I can't stack him. Maybe I'll draft some rookies later and hope one of them goes to the Bengals. That could be nice. It's worked in the past. I've lucked into some of those stacks in the past. Jacoby Myers, got him at about a 10-pick ADP fall, so that felt good. Stafford and Puka, like I said. Jaden Reed going late, pick 118. And then Sir Kenneth Gaines very well in the 11th round for my RB3. Fun fact, Kenneth Gainwell caught one more pass last season than Khalil Shakir did. And people call Khalil Shakir a PPR scam. What about Kenneth Gainwell? What if they bring him back to Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers and that whole chemistry goes again? If not, he could end up somewhere and potentially be a nice 1B passing down back. He's explosive. He can have some big plays, find the end zone a few times. We've seen his ceiling is pretty nice last season. So I'm in on Gainwell. I feel like people are just forgetting that he was effective at all. And the fact that he had such a low floor week to week, it doesn't really matter. This is best ball. You're going for ceiling, and it's pick 123. So I'm in. Yeah, Hartman says, thoughts on Lemon versus Tate versus Tyson. I lean Lemon. I think he has the highest ceiling. I think he's the guy who could have the biggest splash plays and be the biggest target hog. I then go Tate. I think he's just going to be instantly effective NFL wide receiver, like we've seen with many of the OSU wide receiver products over the last half decade. You know, you can name half a dozen guys, and they've all been instantly effective. And then Tyson, I'm the most fearful about because of he's more of a boundary receiver, contested catch guy or a jump ball guy, and I feel like that has the biggest probability or historical like miss rate. So Sean says he's full fading Lamar at cost. Interesting, because this is the cheapest we've ever gotten Lamar Jackson. So fade at your own peril. But I get what you're saying. I don't want to be overexposed to elite QB this season because the play is always to go mid to late QB for the value. And like the game theory around that has been proven year over year to be effective. I could use another running back, but I hate all the running backs available here. Mostly. I don't need a QB. I finished early there. I will go Brenton Strange, who I was hyping up, who Hames got me back on. I got him at a value here, pick 142. My first tight end. I think that's a great pick. He's an inline blocker. He's going to be on the field a lot. There were plenty of games last season, especially early in the season, where Brenton Strange was the target share leader in that offense. So I don't think that's going to be the case, though. But I do have a nice team stack now with Myers and Brenton Strange. That's kind of fun, too. The running backs suck. I went to Juwan Johnson. I actually haven't clicked him yet. So I'll throw him in there because he's a free agent. What if he goes to the Bengals and is their tight end? That could be interesting. I think it's a little bit expensive for Juwan Johnson. It's the most expensive we ever had to pay for him, and he's been good consistently. He's a guy that I've always drafted. I've been overexposed to Juwan Johnson every single year for like, I don't know, probably the last 3 years. Last year, he did earn a lot of targets. He was kind of like New Orleans wide receiver 2 for most of the season. Maybe got a little unlucky in the touchdown department. Maybe he finds success on a new team. There's some risk, though, that he's not always going to be on the field. I need to like review what his snap percentage was. I have it in. I could pull it up. Let's pull it up. Oh no, I didn't do snaps. No, I did do snaps for tight ends, didn't I? Let me see. Let me remove this real quick and then fix something. Okay. Here's my flex model available to all channel members. Become a premium YouTube member of the channel. You get access to this. I track ADP. I track positional rank changes. I have the snap percentile from last season. I've got all of the data from last season, all this good stuff. Scroll down to my tight ends. Let's go to Juwan Johnson. I'm up in 7 picks. Where's Juwan? Juwan was 92nd percentile in snaps played last season. So I take that back. He was on the field a ton. So he's kind of, I don't think he's an inline blocker though. He's just more of a true pass catching tight end, right? Or was he inline blocking? I don't remember that. Maybe they were doing a lot of 12 personnel. What do y'all know about that? But apparently he's on the field a ton. Not 92% of the time, but in the 92nd percentile of snaps played among, all of the NFL players last season. So that's a lot. I do need to go back to running back sooner than later. So I'm looking at running back here. Probably good at tight end for a bit now. Or wide receiver could be fine too. I could do wide receiver here, because the running backs suck. And they only get worse, which is that's like the problem. That's like the fatal flaw of pushing running backs. Who Games doesn't mind the double elite QB. Yes, some late picks. 2 by round 7 is pretty much. Yeah, you're a hero, says Hartman. I'm catching up on the chat. It's because I stopped the drafter in the 4 spot from getting the stack past ADP with Chase and Burrow. But I didn't do it to spite him. I honestly did it because I wanted Burrow. I don't think I've had the chance to even draft one Burrow yet. Jonathan Brooks, upside running back. Let's just take some swings in this range. I would have gone Jerry Jeudy probably. Jalen McMillan, come on down. Well past ADP. He usually goes around pick 160. I get him at 171. And I was due for wide receiver. It'd been a little while. The running backs just were not speaking to me. And I feel like I'm good at tight end for a bit. And peace, Anthony. Always good to see you in the chat. Thanks for being here. Creole says no. I forget what I asked 10 minutes ago, but Wilson Truthers. Mike Wilson Truthers. Mike Wilson's good. He just is good. Makes the Burrow pick even worse. Jermaine Burton, come on down. No way. Samaj P. Ryan under contract another year. Is he? Is that right? Wow, our Taj Brooks dreams are dead. I should have caught up with y'all on this subject matter like 10 minutes ago. Now I'm just way far behind, but everyone's hating on the Joe Burrow pick. Whatever. Never mind, he got cut. Yeah, I didn't think he was there. Korea also had the same order: Lemon, Tate, Tyson. Okay, I haven't taken any of them because they don't see them outproducing the wide receiver they go around. I think that's true too. I don't think that the case for drafting them is that they outproduce the wide receivers that go around on a season-long basis. The game theory here is week 17 is all that matters. Could one of those three receivers put up a Luther Burden week in week 17? And I think the answer is yes. And so that means they're worth drafting to have some exposure to them, even if it's a 4% exposure, half the field. Is kind of my argument, is what I would say. But I'm not drafting a ton of them either. And I honestly think with Tyson, I think he might be the most overpriced. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know for sure yet. But I think, like, why wouldn't you just wait for Boston or Casey Concepcion at like 60 picks later, 30 picks later, whatever, for one of those two guys? Hartman says you got me on Gadsden as well. Well, that's funny because now I'm a little bit off Gadsden because I was looking through like his target shares and things and snaps, and let's go. I mean, we can look at his snaps. Let's go to Gadsden's snaps. 82nd percentile snaps. Not the most impressive, but he was a rookie, so maybe it gets better. Maybe Gadsden can continue to take a step forward in year 2, but I feel like he faded down the second half of last season. He wasn't like earning the targets over Keenan Allen, but maybe that's not a good comparison. Maybe Keenan Allen just is a good target earner. What do I need on this team? I've got 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 receivers, and 2 tight ends. I probably need a running back, and I don't know what to do. So I'll probably go like a 3-7-7-3 build. And if I need to take 3 more running backs, they're getting bad quickly. If I take a wide receiver here, I should push wide receiver. I should either go tight end. I should go running back. I'll take Brian Robinson. He's going to be a free agent. Maybe he ends up somewhere with a role. I don't know, but I do need a running back in this range. Raiders hiring the QB coach from the Seahawks as OC. I did see that. So Clint Kubiak keeps his guy. Ride or die. Okay, maybe I won't go 7 running backs because I just got a really late Tesla there. So Tesla, who I do already like, a little bit past ADP. Not that it matters at this point in the draft too much, but I'm just tempted to do it. And then, I mean, the running backs were just so bad. So I took Burrow on the Bengals. I don't. Is Yoshivas, is he a free agent or is he still on the team? He's still on the team. He could be worth drafting. I don't know. I'm not like that convinced. On the Ravens, I could do a late Rashad Bateman. Or Mike was saying even Devontae Walker. Isn't the craziest thing, but then again, yes it is. I'm not going to draft Devontae Walker, but I would take Rashad Bateman super late to help with that stack with Lamar. I think that's fair. I didn't even see where Mark Andrews ended up going. I probably screwed that up. I took Juwan Johnson. I should have remembered that I had Lamar and gone Mark Andrews over Juwan Johnson. So looking back in hindsight, I messed that one up. That just makes way more sense to go Mark Andrews there. So that's on me. Otherwise, for the Rams, Ferguson and Parkinson are both gone. And then Whittington just not getting it done. So I'm out. Higbee's washed. So I don't really have, I don't think I have like that many stacks that I need to finish. It's just going to be, is what it is. Let me get some upside pieces at like running back. I should definitely take a running back with my next pick, or else I don't know. The tight ends look pretty unappealing in this range, pretty bad. So I don't know what to do in this range at tight end. Typically, I've gone guys like Stowers, Conquo. I don't even know. Yeah, the Kubiak connection looks good with the coaching. Okay, Juwan is in New Orleans. Is that the thing? I thought he was maybe a free agent. Maybe I'm wrong. Saints were one of the highest 12 personnel, 67%. That makes a lot of sense then, because I know that Juwan Johnson doesn't play inline tight end. So I was trying to figure out how his snaps could have been so high. I'll go Devin Neal. It's a little early. I feel fine about it. And then before I forget, I should just go ahead and take... Oh, Bateman went. What the hell? This team has 9 receivers, and they're like, they took 8 in a row. Bateman's one of them. That just threw me off. I guess I'll just go tight end. Stowers or Conquo? Oh no, it froze. Good thing I had Yoshivas queued. I think that's okay. 3-6-8 rebuild. I can either take a third tight end late if there's one I still like, or I just punt tight end, keep it to 2. Tight end doesn't matter, and get myself a 7th running back. My running back. So let me review the team. From the top, I went Puka, Derrick Henry, Ken Walker, Lamar Jackson, Terry McLaurin, Michael Wilson, Joe Burrow. And I went Jacoby Myers, Matt Stafford, Jaden Reed, Kenneth gained very well. Also, Ken Walker, Super Bowl MVP, don't forget. Brenton Strange, Juwan Johnson should have been Mark Andrews, but I just wasn't thinking about the stack at that point, which sucks because that actually could matter a lot. Jonathan Brooks, upside. McMillan, aka McMillions, that feels good. Brian Robinson, yuck. Tesla, fun. Neal, Yoshivas for the stack, and because it froze and I timed out. But it could be worse. I don't think Yoshivas can be a guy you need though, but at least stacked with Burrow, there's some ability to hit the flex on a few weeks. I think some touchdown upside we've seen. On that, Za, what's up, brother? How we doing? Haven't tuned into one of these streams in a while. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a good week, man. Priyal says McMillan was one of my favorite clicks. He had some bullish usage late. Yeah, I'm psyched on him too. I really liked him early on, and I'm psyched on him. And hopefully he's healthy, right? The whole neck scare, the whole neck injury was pretty unfortunate. Sean says Chig may be in Cincinnati. Okay, that's a good bet. Or Otten. I hate Otten though. I mean, maybe Otten would be better in Cincinnati, but he seems kind of like Otten, and he goes. Otten's already picked. Otten seems worthless. I feel like we got one good season out of Otten, but we've been chasing it ever since. He's just not that good. Oh, 0 Gadsden to like 4 and 5. Okay. Bateman is so free, deservedly so. Yeah, and I didn't even get him on this team, so I kind of maybe that's for the best that I didn't get him. If I didn't take a third tight end, would I go Claiborne, Randall, Hemby? No. Devin Singletary goes undrafted. Devin Singletary is probably not the worst 20th round running back pick. I'll take Okonkwo. Maybe he does become the Bengals' top tight end. That'd be lucky and interesting. Impressed by T-Ferg. I like his price. We didn't see a whole lot of Terrence Ferguson. I think Colby Parkinson was more impressive. But the coach speak on Ferguson from McVay has been decent this offseason. So there's a little hype there to follow. But when you can get Mason Taylor around later, I feel like Mason Taylor was better and had more upside. Same thing with Gunnar Helm, was better, potentially has more upside than Ferguson. So I need to be convinced on Ferguson again. I guess it's the arguments he's on the Rams, and that's a good place to be, versus the Jets and the Titans, who both suck. I get it. Kriyoth says, favorite last round wide receiver. I've been mixing in Bateman, Christian Kirk, Josh Palmer. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. On teams with heavy running back starts and or several rookie wide receivers. You know, as I look at the names here, I'm assuming Keenan Allen retires. Otherwise, he's clearly a good pick. I think Ryan Flournoy is kind of a fun pick, but his ceiling game, I can't remember if it came with CeeDee Lamb out or what, but you could chalk it up a little bit to CeeDee Lamb missing time. Jack Besh is kind of interesting because maybe his role increases in year 2, and like the Mendoza effect of the like he's gonna lift up all of the boats, the rising tide lifts all boats kind of thing. I've seen people taking Kyle Williams. I'm not really convinced on that pick. And then besides like the rookie guys, let's see who didn't get drafted here that I actually would like, because a lot of these names that I'm seeing here I don't like at all. And I'm talking about like the last 3 rounds, because before that I think most of those guys get drafted all the time. So who's still available? Jalen Knoll, not the most exciting. Malachi Fields could be something, could be nothing. I like Tez Johnson a little bit, I'm not going to lie. I do like the fact that he can have a big splash play and put up 18 points, a touchdown or 2 in a game. We've seen that from him, so that's kind of exciting. I think Jalen Naylor, not the worst click. Lower floor than Justin Jefferson. Had a higher ceiling than Justin Jefferson in 2025. People don't like to talk about it. Let's go into the data on the Vikings, literally the worst team for fantasy points last season. I want to show y'all something. So if you become a channel member here, you get access to the Google Sheets that has all of this stuff going on. My ADP tracking, positional ranks tracking, the data from 2025, all built in. And we can dive into some of the data and look at things like this. This is for the full season last year, and I'll zoom in a little bit to make it, maybe that's too much. Let's go, I don't know, 80 should be good. Okay. How many 20-point games did Justin Jefferson have last season? He had 0. His highest scoring game was 17.6. Fucking sucks. Jalen Naylor had a 20.9 game. Okay, Jalen Naylor only averaged 5 points a game. He sucks. Okay, whatever. But 2.85 fantasy points per touch compared to Justin Jefferson's 1.88. Justin Jefferson touched the ball 77 times, so he had a lot more touches. But Naylor had 4 touchdowns. Jefferson had 2. See what I'm saying? Like, this is best ball. You don't get points for a 9-point score. That didn't hit your lineup. Naylor had a 20-point game in 2 games above 17 points. Justin Jefferson had 1 game above 17 points. So technically, last season, Naylor hits your lineup in a more meaningful way more often and with a higher score than Justin Jefferson. People don't like to talk about that. So, I mean, numbers are stupid, right? That numbers can lie. Justin Jefferson's much better than Jalen Naylor. Okay, but was he? Obviously, Justin Jefferson goes in the first round, second round. Naylor goes undrafted. But who should be getting drafted? I think Jalen Naylor has a case to be draftable. And if the argument is okay, but they're going to upgrade their quarterback, and Justin Jefferson had a bad season with McCarthy, and they're going to upgrade their quarterback, why wouldn't that also help Jalen Naylor? Dontavian Wicks is still a Packer. Not the worst click. Luke McCaffrey, I haven't clicked him yet, but I could see it if you're stacking up with like Jaden Daniels for something. Although I'm sure there's still better clicks. Tyquan Thornton was interesting in the beginning of the season. Tyquan Thornton was interesting in the beginning of the season when Xavier Worthy went down. I remember drafting some primetime Paloozas, and he was kind of interesting in those. So I think I don't even know his status if he's like even a Chief next year, but I'm just thinking out loud. That's about it. The rest of these guys do actually suck. So, but I'll do some more research on it and see if we can find some other interesting scroll down names. What do you guys think? Who are some interesting scroll downs for you? Will Tua play next season, says Hartman. I think he has to because they're paying him $50 million. And I don't know what the intricacies are of the contract and the deal. If they cut him and they still owe him like $30 million, can they pay another team to take him? It seems like his contract's pretty prohibitive of that situation, but he'll be the most expensive backup in NFL history. So that'll be fun to watch. And then quarterbacks got injured a ton last season. So I bet you then he just like gets some starts at some point and maybe still for the Dolphins, right? I don't know. Darnell Mooney, probably a good pick. He could be. Why can't he bounce back? I think I draft Darnell Mooney in the last draft with my Penix stack, Michael Penix. I didn't get him this time, and I think in this one he did get drafted, but I think in this one, Darnell Mooney went he went in the 4th to last round, so I kind of made the cutoff like the last 3 rounds. But yeah, I think Mooney's fine. Clicking Vele, yeah, you can't see me clicking Vele. He's burned me too many times. And then Mike says, was hoping that the team taking those wide receivers late would take Chase Claypool to finish it off. I think they really missed their opportunity for the bit there. And they finished 10 straight wide receivers after going T-Mac in the 3rd. A 3-4-11 2 build from Chris King 13, who did end up sniping me on. I would have liked Horton. I wouldn't have minded Mooney. I wanted Bateman. So that would have been very fitting for the bit, Mike. You're 100% right. Thanks for being here, everyone. Happy Sunday night. I'm going live right now with the one, the only. You know him, you love him. The best ball guy, BBG. So follow me over there. Make sure you like the stream before you leave here if you haven't already. And if you're watching this later and you made it to the end, make sure you comment on the stream. Help out the algo. Help out the channel. Consider becoming a premium YouTube member and getting access to all my data, my ranks, my models, all that good stuff. And tune in next time. I'm going live tomorrow night with Bindles for the Ballsy show. We're talking Dynasty rookie rankings. Don't miss it. Have a great night. But also, I'm going live with BBG. Hop on over there. Let's get right into it. Peace.